I don't know what just happened. I'm so tired of YouTube. I don't understand what's going on. Why is the power going down? Why is the power going down? But I look nice. I look cute. I look cute every single day. Hello, Aisha. How you doing, girl? How's your evening? What's going on? What's popping on this Saturday night? Any dates? Any plans? You gonna do something fun? Oh, you great? Good, good. I just got done talking to somebody on my live stream about my hair, but I like my hair. Somebody didn't like it, but that's fine. It's not for them. My hairstyle is for me only. They're not for they're not to please anybody but me. You know, that's why I wear my hair the way I do, because it's about pleasing me. I care about pleasing myself. He did. He said it looked like unfolded clothes. Horrible. But I don't care about what he say. I live for me. I do what I want to do. If I want to wear purple hair, I'm going to wear it. If I want to wear a short pink curly wig, I'm going to do it. It's about me, what I like. You know, no man, even in a relationship. Thank you, Aisha. No man, even in a relationship, could tell me what to do about my hair. Because I know some dudes, they like to get with women, and they know they wear all these wigs and weaves and stuff, and then they try to break them down and be like, oh, you know, your hair look better natural. And then the woman start, you know, thinking about it. I had a friend. She's not my friend no more. For some reasons. You know, if you want to know why, I tell you. But I had a friend. And she was living an independent life. Having good credit. All that had going on. She inspired me. I was like, man, you got going on. She was dating all kinds of dudes, you know, this dude, that dude, having a good single life. And she wore her hair in different hairstyles, enjoying, you know, getting her nails done, all the good stuff. And then she met this man. And I knew things had changed when I started seeing her wear natural looking braids. Not even the braids that the girls get. It was like this natural looking twist out or something. I said, oh, something is amiss. Something is amiss. And then all of a sudden she got us all together. And she said, I met somebody, this guy that lives in my building. I met this guy, and we was like, oh, okay, you met this guy. And then a couple months later, she went from, you know, looking a certain way to all of a sudden, hey, Caterpillar, looking a certain way, and all of a sudden, you know, she started rocking all these natural afro hairstyles and stuff. And then she stopped wearing makeup. Then she stopped wearing, you know, the kind of clothes that she used to wear. It was a total 360. I said, damn, who is this man? And he done changed her whole life. My day is great, Caterpillar. So one day she brought all of us together. You know, some friends, some close friends, and me, to meet the man. Well, we met the man, and I was like, oh, 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 oh. And he started talking about all the things he gonna do for her and all that kind of stuff. And we were just like, oh, okay. And we was happy for her. But I was kind of, you know, I was happy for her. But something about the whole thing, something about I didn't care for. But I didn't say anything. Bye, Caterpillar. Have a good evening. But something about it I didn't care for. But I didn't say nothing. But my thing is she changed her whole identity. Her whole identity just to be with somebody. And I thought that was strange. I thought you should never have to change who you are, how you dress, how you look, to be with somebody. If they are requiring that, then you might as well start talking to them. Hold on, what you saying? Ain't nobody being mean to you. I ain't never been mean to you since you've been coming to this live stream. Now, if you want me to be mean to you, it's going to cost you a fee. It's called dominance. Okay? You could be a sub if you want to. Yeah, he wasn't the right, he wasn't, but you know what? She stayed with him. She's still with him today. And they went through a lot of trials and tribulations, and she's still with him. Because you know what? Sometimes you want to prove to other people that the relationship was worth it, so you hang on regardless of whatever hell this person take you through. You hang on just to save face. Just to save face. But I ain't hanging on. I ditch you in a minute. I've gotten rid of everybody I've talked to, almost. When I get tired, I had enough. I'm throwing the whole relationship in the trash. I don't care. Who would make you a relationship guru? I've been to church. I don't have to be a relationship guru. I've been to the house of Christ. I'm just talking about experience. I can't tell you. I'm not no guru. We got plenty of that on YouTube already. Thank you, Aisha. I'm not being mean at all. Hey, Sanchez, how you doing? Long time no see. Yeah, I'm quick to cut somebody off. I don't play those games. I'll cut you off. That's why I'm not married now. Ain't married at all. Because, and you know, somebody said, I don't know who said that, but I can't keep no man or something like that. They can't keep me. I'm gonna call me a runaway. Soon as it get hot, I'm out. Soon as it get too claustrophobic, I'm out the door. I got to go. You can't tell me what to do. You're not my daddy. Thank you, Aisha. Now, I know you ain't gonna ask him what he think about my hair. While you over there calling my hair unfolded clothes. Yeah, I run a strict program. You know, I send you back to your mama. I don't care. I call your mama up and say you coming back home. I ain't got time to deal with the mess. If you eat all my food, I'm getting rid of you. Expeditiously. I've been seeing women online complaining about they make food for the week. They ain't even married to the man. It's just a boyfriend. And he don't even live there. He just coming to visit. And the boyfriend eating all the food her food for the week. Get rid of them. I know that's right, Sanchez. Be on the right side of history. I know that's right. See, Jay, ain't nobody on your side when you talking all that mess. Ain't nobody on your side. See, while you over there talking about somebody's hair. Mm-hmm. Ain't nobody on your side. Ah, he need a hug. He need a hug and a hairpiece, I think. You know, I think when people start talking about people's hair, they jealous because they ain't got no hair or something. But you can buy you some hair, $4.99 at the beauty supply store. They got all kinds of clearance. They got a cold clearance aisle of hair. Put some hair on your head today. You don't have to be without. Nobody does. Okay? Get you a wig for $2.99. They got them. But yeah, I'm strict. I'm very strict. I plays no games. Thin skin? What thin skin? Oh, you shave your hair? Well, that's good. At least you accept the fact. These people out here running around with one piece of hair on their head, and that's it. Who is fragile? Ain't nobody fragile. Nobody care about what you talking about. Running around one piece of hair on their head. Do you know what? Is my cousin online? Is on this live stream? I got a cousin, and she married to a man, and he was bald all at the top. You know what he had in the back of his head? A tail. He had a tail in the back of his head, and his whole head was bald. And it took her 2 years to convince him to cut the back of the tail off. Cut that tail off. I said, girl, why he saving that little piece of hair? Why he saving that little piece of hair in the back? But he finally cut it off right before they got married. But she did accept him the way he was with that tail. But she said, for the wedding, can you remove that? And, he thought about it and he removed it. And I don't think he can grow it back either. Yeah, he had that rat tail in the back of his head. I thought that was funny. I said, oh, girl, you could tell he real old. Because she married an older man. He is like 10 years older than her. And he had that rat tail, that thing in the back of his head. I said, who do you think he is? Okay, Elder Barge or something? I said, girl, I don't know what you're going to do with that. But he finally got rid of it. Came to his senses. And got rid of that thing. Yeah. Now, years ago, it was a cute thing to have it up. But you had some hair on your head at least. You had that Bobby Brown cut with a little something in the back. But you had a haircut and a tail. Not just straight Mr. Clean and then just that tail hanging back. It was off the chain. I said, girl, I don't know what you're going to do about that. But he still look young. Now, he 10 years older than her, but he still look young. And that's because he takes an extreme amount of vitamins. He take a lot of pills, popping vitamins all day, every day. Not the do-wop pompadour with the tail. Ooh. Not the do-wop. No. Yeah. People had some crazy hairstyles back in the day. They had some wild dudes. I remember when I had a Jerry curl. And I went to school. I think this was the last few years of people having Jerry curls when I had my Jerry curls. It was almost time for it to phase out. And people started switching kind of to like a leisure curl because it was a looser curl, a looser jerry curl, so it didn't look as tight. And that's the one I had. And I was at school, and I was in the lunchroom in middle school sitting down. I hated going to lunch. I never liked going to lunch. I'm sitting down, and my hair is starting to drip, you know, because I had too much activator in it. And I guess my hair was dripping in the hallway or something. And that boy got up on that chair in that cafeteria. Follow the drip. There she is. Follow the drip. There she is. Follow the drip. There she is. I was sitting there mid-bite on that salad. And I said to myself, I can't believe my hair is leaking. And I can't believe he's talking about my hair in the cafeteria. After that, oh my God. After that day, what the hell kind of motorcycle is that? After that day that he yelled in that cafeteria about my hair, I told my mama, I said, you got to do something. I don't know, it was a motorcycle or something. I don't know what that was. Yeah, the dookie braids. I gotta tell you about the dookie braids. I told my mom, I said, you gotta do something about this. I got called out at school. You gotta do something. So that's when she decided to start perming my hair. But when she started perming my hair, she didn't press it out. I ended up looking like Oprah. I went to school every day looking like Oprah Winfrey. And I said, I didn't want this either. You got me looking like Oprah at school. I said, this is ridiculous. Now the dookie braids, and that was a time. My sister hair is actually like this. Silky like this. Her real hair is silky like this. They put some dookie braids in my sister's hair. She went outside. Not the Vanessa Huxtable. She went outside and 2 or 3 of the braids fell out of her hair because her hair was so silky. And somebody brought the braids back up to our door. She lost her hair. I'm like, first of all, somebody didn't put that in right. Why the hell the dookie braid just fall out your head like that? Boy, that was a time. Everybody's wearing those bobs. They was wearing the braided bobs and stuff like that. That was a time. You know what I mean? Everybody was doing that. But my mama had me looking like Oprah every day. I even got a picture of me looking just like Oprah Winfrey going to school. I said, I got to do something better than this. And thank God, well, not thank God, we ended up in a car accident, okay? My mama came into some money, and I finally got to get the hairstyle of my dreams. I got me a $300, back then it was $300, a $300 sew-in my hair. Oh, it was so long and luxurious. Oh, I felt cute. I felt cute. Okay, wearing that $300 sew-in to school. Oh, I was it. You couldn't tell me nothing. The look of success. Not the look of success. Oh, you got tiny braids? See, we didn't have that option back then. All the braids was thick. And they remind you of Dookie. You know, that's why they call them Dookie braids. Because they look like shit on your head. They was big. Big old braids. And everybody was wearing them. You know what I mean? Everybody was wearing them. They was doing them all kind of styles. All kind of ways. just had all them braids in their hair. It was an interesting time. Hairstyles were kind of crazy. The ponytails that we used to put in the microwave, we used to microwave the hair and the ponytail. A lot of people used to admire Oprah's hair and would try to recreate. A lot of the stylists would ask, people would ask stylists back then, beauticians back then, can they get that Oprah look, the fullness of the hair? So a lot of women rock that look because of her. I know that's right. You paying attention. I'm like, how you know all about that hair, boy? Yeah, I was like, you know what? I ain't want that Oprah hair. All I wanted my hair was to be straight. But my mama, she wouldn't straighten it like that. Now, we did come into a time where all the girls started wrapping their hair. Doing once you finally get it pressed out, you wrap it around. I had the most difficult time wrapping my hair around my head. And by the time I finally got the hang of it, it was over. The whole era of wrapping your hair was over. By the time I learned how to do it right and get my hair like that Aaliyah look, you know what I mean? That whole era was over. Wasn't nobody wrapping their hair no more. So I went through several different hair eras. It was a lot. We had all kind of hairstyle. I remember putting them ribbon curls in my hair and all that stuff. Just a lot going on. The microwaving the hair, all that stuff. It was just hairstyle after hairstyle after hairstyle. We were trying everything and anything to our hair, frying it, dyeing it, laying to the side, gel it up, grease it down. I remember one time I ran out of lotion. I put that blue magic grease on my skin. I went to school. I was in high school. I went to school with that blue magic on my legs and stuff, all over, greased up like a greasy duck. Okay? I went into school sitting at the desk, and the girl behind me, she started talking that smack. Oh, look at her. Oh, she all greased up, look like I don't know what she called. She called me something, telling me I was all greasy and all that, blah, 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 blah. I was so mad that day. I turned around, I said, what did you say? And then she stood up. She stood up. And then I stood up. I was like, yeah, what you want to do? Because today's the day. As soon as we were about to get into it, my name got called on the intercom. My name got called. Come down to the office. I said, damn, I ain't even hit nobody yet. I'm already being called down to the office. I get down to that principal's office. My mama's sitting in there. I said, what the hell my mama's sitting in here for? She said, it's your last day of school. I said, my last day of school? Huh? Yeah, this is your last day. You're going to a new school. What? My mama married this army man, and we ended up moving to, the base. We moved to the army base. And that was a new chapter of my life, moving to that army base. And I was like, are you serious? She said, it's your last day. And that was it. I ain't go back to school after that day. It was over. Because I was about to wax the floor. Oh, me and old girl was about to tussle. Yeah. So when we moved to the army base, I said, dang, we really moving to army base? And I had to go to a whole new school. So, it's a chance to redo your identity. Going to a new school. Yeah, there you go. Literally, saved by the bell. That was a crazy day. That was just the most unreal day. I said, is this really happening? I was really about to fight old girl and then my name get called. It was crazy. I thought that, I said, man, my mama she must have knew I was about to get into some shit. She must have known. She must have known to get her butt up to that school. I don't know. I don't know how she knew. I don't know. I don't know. Her intuition told her to go on up there and get me out of there that day. But then I started a new school and it was just a whole. Now, see, I went to mostly a black school. And then I ended up going to a predominantly white school. And it was a very different, very different. The Lord sure does, Sanchez, sure does. And that was a whole different experience. You know, it was a bigger school. It was different looking. You know, it it was just a different feeling. It was a heaviness. It's like you see some black people at the school, but you don't really see a lot of black people at the school until years and years went on. Like my sophomore year, I started seeing more black kids. By the time I was a junior, there was a lot more black kids at the school. But that first year, I felt like I was the only one there. I said, am I the only one in this school? Where everybody at? Where all the black people at? It was kind of crazy. But I survived. I watched a lot of kids get drunk at school. You know, get wasted in the classroom. I remember old girl said she was having a bad day, and she pulled out a thermostat full of vodka. I'm like, you gonna drink that in the classroom? Oh, I do it all the time. Girl, we in the ninth grade. You really gonna drink? Like, yes. We had some wild kids back there. Some wild kid pregnant. For the first time I seen a pregnant girl in school, I was shocked. I seen her. I said, "Oh my God, is she pregnant? I know she's not pregnant." And then she disappeared for a few weeks, and then she came back and she was smaller. And I said, "Dang, she lost a lot of weight." And then I found out, yeah, she was pregnant. She was pregnant at the school. Pregnant in school. That was the first time I seen a pregnant girl. The first time I seen a kid on drugs at school was my freshman year. Seeing kids on drugs, seeing kids, you know, doing crazy stuff. It was just a whole year of just first. Like, oh my God. You know, my first time seeing, you know, the popular girl and boy of the school. Not 66 with snow. Let me tell you, these kids in my freshman year, they was selling them candy, that sour candy in a ball. I think they called warheads or sour. They was called something. I don't know what. Let me look up. Let me look it up. Get the right name. Hold on. I gotta get that name. Hold on. What is it called? 90s. Hold on. 90s sour candy. It wasn't called warheads. It was called. It wasn't warheads. Mm, It wasn't warheads. It was something else. It was a big ball. Oh, here we go. Here we go. What is it called? Crybabies. Oh, okay. Let me show y'all. Oh shoot. Let me get the picture up. Here we go. Here we go. Oh shoot. What happened? Hold on. These right here. Did y'all ever see these? This right here, them crybabies. Ooh, they used to sell these, by the little snack bag. They sell like 3 of them for like 3 of them for 75 cents or 50 cents or something like that. They used to sell these like drugs. These crybabies? Oh man, they used to have these all the time. Oh, you talking about early stages of drug dealing? They used to sell those in school every day. Oh, you didn't never see them? Yeah, they used to sell those all the time. Those are crybabies. Oh God, them things were so sour. It'll light your head up. It make your head hurt so bad. It had so much sugar in them. Your mama and them wonder why you won't go to bed. You gonna have 3 of them at school, maybe 3 or 4 of them. Who knows? People used to eat those all the time at school. They was hustling back then, real hustling. Cry babies. I only tried it one time, and that was enough for me, and I ain't do it no more. Because I didn't know if it was a drug or what. I didn't know what that was. Bianca spray? Bianca spray. Hold on, let me look that up. Oh, yeah. Okay, yep. They still got that. I mean, they ain't got that brand. Somebody selling it for $99. Look at this. Wow. Why is somebody selling it for $99? $99. What the hell? Why would I buy that for $99? Look at that. Somebody is crazy. $99. And at the time, it was $1.99. You got caught shoplifting back then. Dang. I know a lot of kids used to steal back in the day, but the only person I knew that stole stuff was my cousin. My cousin, he was a thief in the night, boy. I remember all the lights went out at the mall. It was like it was Halloween. All the lights went out in the mall. And my cousin stole the Calvin Klein perfume display bottle. And it wasn't just a little bottle. It was the giant Calvin Klein display bottle, and she stole it and brought it home. And my grandma said, who gave you that big bottle like that? And she said, nobody. That's when I knew she had stolen. I said, oh shit, she done stole that whole bottle of damn Calvin Klein. Oh, you reverse shot. That's a good deed. Good deed. Good deed. Good deed. I've never stolen anything at all. Now I've accidentally left the store and didn't realize I had something that I didn't pay for one time or two. But I have not purposely went in the store, you know, to go in there to steal anything. I have no reason to steal. Damn! Well, cause them daddies, I know my grandpa, he'll beat the crap out of you if he found out something. My daddy wasn't a beater. He ain't beat you. But my grandpa, he ain't had no problem. But we were all girls, so he rarely did anything to us. He was too charmed by all us girls. We charmed him out his wallet. He loved being around us, and we charmed him out of that money. You know, he had to give up them dollars every time he seen us girls. Now my grandma, she make you get that switch off that tree. You know. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it is. I've only gotten the switch one time, and my mama one time threw a grapefruit at my head because she was in a wheelchair at the time from an accident, and I said something under my breath, and she couldn't get to me fast enough, so she threw a grapefruit at my head. Every time I remind her about that, she tells me, "Oh, what are you talking about? I never did that." Yes, you did. She don't remember that she did that she threw the grapefruit at my head. We do need more discipline out here in the world. Because some of these kids are horrible. I was in the grocery store, and a little boy, I'm going to just say his name is Tommy. A little boy was in the grocery store. He taking the cereal off the shelf, throwing it on the floor. He throwing the boxes of cereal on the floor. His mama said, "Stop." Oh, come on, Tommy, stop. Please stop. Tommy goes down the aisle. He throw more boxes of cereal on the floor. She steady picking them up. "Please, Tommy, please stop. Please stop. Please stop. Please stop." She begging him to stop. Every chance she get, she begging him to stop. And that little boy, let me tell you something. By the time she got wore out from telling this little boy to stop, by the time she got to the cash register, he started throwing the candy bars. You know how they had candy bars by the cash register? And I think that's why they started putting the candy bars higher up, because the kids would do crazy shit to the candy bars and throw them on the floor. He started throwing them candy bars on that floor, and she snapped. She snapped real quick, and she said, "I told you to stop. Stop it now." Oh, man, the fire in her eyes. Oh, she was on fire. He could tell. Uh-oh. I better stop now. Yeah, she pissed. I better quit. I ain't gonna make it home. That's probably what he was thinking. I ain't gonna make it to the crib if I do something else. So he quit real quick. I mean, because she got loud and mad. I said, You gotta discipline the kids at home before you get to the store. My mama would give me that speech, me and my sister, that speech before you go in the store. Now, we going in the store. Don't touch nothing. I'm not buying you nothing. Don't ask me about nothing. Don't run around. Don't do none of that. She told me that speech. She said, if you do anything, you gonna get your butt whooped. And when she told us that, me and my sister walked behind her, And, she would take us to the store. The funny part is she would say this speech and then take us to the store with the most breakable stuff. All the glassware, all the dishes, and all just a whole bunch of shit that can easily break, easily turn over. I said, oh, God, I had to pray to myself that I wouldn't touch nothing and break it. I said, oh, please don't let me break anything. I don't want to get in trouble. I would really think hard, not to touch stuff, not to do anything. I don't want to do anything to get in trouble. I don't want to do nothing. Okay, I would pray. While I'm walking around, I would look at my sister like, please don't touch nothing. We ain't got time for that. We ain't got time for that. Yeah, she would take us to the most, all this China dishes and stuff, and you guys in here, we restless, we ain't ate nothing, are we high on candy, and you gonna take us to the store with all the breakable stuff? I think that she did that stuff on purpose. I think she did that stuff on purpose to test us. It's like, lady, this ain't right. It's taking us to the store with all this shit that could fall apart. She did it. But my mama, she had no problem disciplining you because she kept her nails real long on purpose. She kept her nails red and long. And one time, I said something. I don't know what I said, but she took me by the ear. She pinched that ear. Boy, she dragged me down almost to the floor. And she said, I said, stop. And then she let go of my ear. I said, oh, hell no. I said, oh, my God. Oh, this lady, she done lost her damn. I thought my mama was crazy. That's all. She done lost her damn mind. Right. Who raised you? What the hell you touching everything? My mama was off the chain. She was, she was mean. And then she realized how mean she was. And then she would be nice and take us to go get Barbies or take us to go get something to eat. She would try to soften whatever she did. She would try to soften it later because then she would think about it and she would say, it's just us three at the time. At the time, she was single and it was just me and my sister and her. And so she learned to soften it. She did what she could. I think she was just stressed out being a single parent, working 2 jobs, working all these side hustles, trying to make all this money to take care of us and stuff. It was very stressful. And then also trying to have a normal life, dating men and going on dates and trying to have a sense of self while also raising two girls at the same time. It was a lot going on for her. And then battling my daddy in child support court and all this kind of stuff because he didn't want to pay. And she was struggling to keep things together. And then she finally gave in and had her mother start helping her, with certain things. Picking us up from school if she needed to. Watching us while she go work a second job. Stuff like that. So she had to do a lot of juggling and a lot of... I remember one time we was riding in the car. My mama had this ugly gremlin. She had a gremlin car. It was green. It looked like puke, okay? It looked like straight up puke. And we rode in it for a while. And one day we went on my grandpa's house and he said, God, that car ugly. And he said, and she had sat under a tree or something, and it had big old blueberry spots or big old fruit spots, cherry, some type of fruit had, got all over the car. Her car was just spotted with like blueberries or something. And my grandpa said, I can't wait till you get another car. And then one day we was driving, and I had started to understand the gas, the gas gauge. And I said, Mama, your gas tank is on E. I said, your gas tank is on E. We ran out of gas. And she said, no, we haven't. I said, well, the gas says it's on E. She said, no, it's not. She said, we have 2 gas tanks. That was the main one, but there's a second gas tank. And I said, oh, okay. And I said, and I didn't worry about it. We made it to wherever we made it to, and that was it. And all that time, until I got to the dealership to get my own car, I asked them, I said, does this car come with 2 gas tanks? They was like, 2 gas tanks? This ain't no 2 gas tanks. There's no 2 gas. Are you sure? There's no 2 gas tanks. And I realized she told us that, to not only calm herself down, knowing she didn't have money to put gas, or she was trying to make it to the gas station on E, and she didn't want to panic. She didn't want us to worry, and she made up that story so that we wouldn't, be stressed about, not having gas in the car. I was like, oh my God. I thought we had 2 tanks forever. I really did. I said, oh God, I said, these cars come with 2 gas tanks. But she did that on purpose. She did that on purpose. And then she had a crazy time. But most of her downfall, income-wise, was because we had gotten in that car accident, and it messed her up where she couldn't really work as much because she was in a wheelchair and stuff, and having to deal with all of that and going back and forth to therapy and the doctor and stuff for her leg, because her leg got messed up in the car accident. Woo! Oh, my nose. So her leg got messed up in that car accident, and that messed up her income. It messed up everything for a while, because it took a long time to get paid out from that car accident. And so I remember that Christmas, even though we had a grandma and grandpa who did very well in life, my mama tried to do things on her own. She didn't want to involve them necessarily in what's going on in her life. So she tried to do a lot of stuff on her own. And so Christmas came, and she wasn't working that much, and she didn't have much money, so she brought a little bitty tree, set it on the counter, and she put Snickers on it as ornaments. Snickers, little Snicker bars, Snicker candy bars. And I thought, God, we really doing horrible. I mean, we don't have no real ornaments, no real Christmas tree. And she gave us coloring books. I said, we just getting coloring books for Christmas? And I just went to bed, and I was like, well, it is what it is. We just getting coloring books for Christmas. Dang, that always got pulled over. Oh. Yeah, these experiences are so. It's so crazy how they shape your life. They shape your perspective on things as you get older because of all the things we have been through. But yeah, my mother, she had a time. She had a very tough time, but luckily we had grandparents, and the next day we went over there. They had gifts, gifts for us for Christmas and stuff like that. But it was a lot. It was crazy. It was just like, God, this is all. As a kid, I don't think I was ungrateful, but I was just like, I seen her do all this hustling. It's like, how how we end up with this kind of Christmas? But it is what it is. I understood it later. I didn't really understand it all at the time, but I understood it, later on. Better late than never. I understood what she went through, what she was probably thinking, you know. Yeah, grandma and them, they stepped up and stepped in. Coats, gloves, toys, the whole nine. I said, oh yeah, this this got it going on over here at grandma's house. Grandma got it going on. We had some gifts there. But she had a tough time. I remember she met a man. My mama dated some man, a mechanic, and he brought over a garbage bag full of jelly donuts. And she didn't have that much money to buy a lot of food. She didn't beg her mother for food. And we ate on them jelly donuts for months. A whole freezer of jelly donuts. We ate them for lunch, breakfast, dinner, jelly donuts. And that's probably why I don't like jelly donuts now. I hate jelly donuts. I hate them. We ate them for a very long time. Ate them for a very long time. There you go. My grandma and them was a stickler about them clothes. She would not settle for less. She wants you to have J.C. Penney shoes, clothes. You know what I mean? She didn't believe in no cheap stuff. She's like, oh no, and especially since she would make us go to church with her, so we had to have them good J.C. Penney shoes, Sears dresses, Macy's, that kind of stuff. She wasn't going for the cheap stuff at all. She wasn't going for none of that. She wants the best dresses, stockings, dress shoes, and your hair gonna be laid, dyed, and fried to the side. Okay, she made sure that when you with her, you gonna look your best every time. My mama wasn't the kind that do all that shopping and stuff like that. My grandma is the one who brought us the winter coats, the gloves, the hats, the school supplies. She brought all that stuff. She brought that stuff. My mama didn't have the. I ain't saying she wasn't a parent. She just, her time was between trying to make money at these jobs. Yeah, see? See? Yeah, and all that energy is all passed down from parent to child, parent to child. Right. It's easier to be a good grandparent because you already did your part. You already raised kids. Now all you got to do is deal with these kids when they're around you. You don't have to be around them 24/7. So it's easier to be a grandparent because you can send them home. My grandma had it the easiest. She didn't have to deal with us all the time. Just every now and then on the weekends, or if my mama had to do a second job or something, she would deal with us then. Or we would stay the weekend, with all of them, grandpa, grandma, have a good time. Then we got to go back home to mama, eat chili and spaghetti, because that's all she fixing. Grandma, she going to fix you breakfast. She going to fix you lunch. She going to fix you dinner, the whole nine. Yeah, you eat good every day. Even if you didn't even like it, but you realize when you get older that she fixed you good meals every day. When I think back on it, I'm like, I wasn't into, fried pork chops and all this stuff, greens and all that. But when you think about it, she fixed a lot of damn food. Cornbread, hot water cornbread, all this stuff. She fixed a lot of food every day. Full breakfast, Coffee every morning, eggs, bacon, sausage, toast. Every now and then she might fix a biscuit. She might do that. And then grandpa always come with that dessert after work. He come with that cake from the bakery. You know, he would come with that cake, and or on Friday nights he would order something if we all over there. Girls, girls, we ordering pizza tonight. And we rarely got pizza with mama. Until there a pizza place opened up by our apartment, and they had pizzas. They were selling buy one get one free, and so my mama started buying pizzas from that spot because it was buy one get one free. I know that's right. Oh, not your daddy was mad. Yeah, the daddies are always, they. And then when they get older, I should have been a better parent. Now, no shit. No shit. You should have been a better parent. It's always when they get older, I should have done right by you kids. I should have done this. I should have done that. Well, you didn't. And luckily, we turned out all right. We turned out, halfway decent. We ain't robbed nobody. I ain't killed nobody. I ain't been on drugs. I ain't been on no alcohol. I ain't done none of that stuff. I turned out good. I got a master's degree. Okay. I'm one of the first people in the family to have a master's degree. So, you know what I mean? So I did well. I did well for what I went through. You know what I mean? But my daddy's gone. I'm pretty sure if he was alive, if he could do things over, he probably would do it in a whole different way. But he spent so much time fighting my mama about child support when he could have been spending all that time with us. And maybe his life would have turned out way differently. If he wasn't so lustful and cheating and all that kind of stuff, maybe his outcome, maybe he'd still be here laughing, having a good time. But he spent his time chasing skirts, chasing women, chasing a whole bunch of women. And sometimes they don't lead you nowhere to either a miserable life or death. There's no good outcome from going around cheating and lying and chasing women and ignoring your kids. You think you're gonna have good karma in life? You think you're gonna have a good life and evade karma by doing those horrible things? I think not. I think not. Thank you, Sanchez. Thank you so much. And it doesn't matter about if you accomplish any of that. You know what? You made it through. You doing good in life, and that's all that matters. It doesn't matter degree or not. Did you complete the things that you want to complete? Probably so. Did you meet the goal that you want to meet? You probably did. And that's all that matters at the end of the day. Did you get what you wanted to get out of life? Not the stone stop rolling. My daddy was out here. He was wild. Wild man. You know what I mean?